ValveTime.net.
Hi, and welcome to the ValveTime News. Each week, most weeks, we'll bring you the biggest talking points regarding Valve and the community. You probably noticed we didn't release an episode last weekend, and that's because the show's writer and editor Nick was in London attending EGX 2014. Don't fret, however, as we're still going to be covering the news from both weeks, as you probably noticed by the stupidly long video length at the bottom of the YouTube player. So grab a drink and some popcorn and let's recap a lot of news. Even though it's only been a month or so since the techies were released alongside the last major Dota 2 update, the community became extremely excited and even a little worried over by the reveal of the Rekindling Soul update a few weeks back, which featured the highly anticipated 6.82 balance patch amongst other changes. We won't be going into too many details about the 6.82 patch itself, as there's just far too much to talk about, so check out Purge's 2 long-hour analysis if you're looking for more information about how the various changes may alter the public or professional metagame. Elsewhere in the Rekindling Soul update, the highly anticipated remodel for Shadow Fiend was finally released after being originally shown off during the Source Filmmaker Shorts at this year's international tournament. Shadow Fiend has also been given a new Arcana set named the Demon Eater, which, as usual, provides new visuals, animations, sound effects, ability trackers, an altered voice, and much more. More importantly, however, are the various map layout changes introduced to help remove the Dire's long-standing advantage at Roshan's Pit. As shown, Roshan's Pit has been rotated and moved further downriver, providing both Radiant and Dire an equal opportunity to approach his pit from the front or sides. Various other areas of the map have also been moved and tweaked to compensate, as both the Radiant and Dire offlanes now feature multiple new juking paths and ways to traverse through the trees. The slightly modified layout isn't the main change for the river, however, as a brand new rune known as the Bounty Rune will now always spawn on the opposite side of one of the older runes. Bounty runes provide the hero with varying amounts of gold and experience, which increase slowly as the match progresses. A brand new purchasable item known as the Crimson Guard will provide the wearer with armor, health, and a massive passive block with an 80% chance to negate 40 melee or 20 ranged damage. An active ability known as Guard will effectively function as a pipe of insight for physical damage, providing +2 armor and a 100% chance to block 50 damage, providing tanky carries or offlaners with more purchasing options. Outside of the more minor tweaks for most of the heroes in the game, Bloodseeker and Phantom Lancer were massively overhauled, both receiving new abilities and ways to play. Bloodseeker's Bloodbath has been replaced with Bloodright, a new AoE ability which, after a 3-second charge time, will silence and damage all enemy units in an area, providing Bloodseeker with much more teamfight utility. Phantom Lancer has received 2 new abilities, Phantom Rush, allowing him and his illusions to receive a short, quick burst of speed to help him close in onto his enemies, and Doppelganger, which allows him to disappear for 1 second before returning to the battlefield with new illusions in a random configuration, making him slightly harder to knock down while limiting his potential to escape ganks or fights. There's an absolutely crazy amount of new content included elsewhere in the update, such as the new fight recap overview, the removal of the composite and HP removal damage types, courier morphing, and a series of new cosmetic item sets available inside the Treasure of the Forged Fury chest. As we mentioned before, we highly recommend checking out the official announcement page and Purge's own update analysis, as both should prove useful if you want to keep up with the changing face of Dota 2. While the Dota 2 updates seem to be coming thick and fast these days, Valve recently confirmed that despite last year's rather ridiculous outcry, there will not be a Diretide Halloween event taking place this year. This is apparently due to the fact that the Dota 2 ongoing content team is busy with a number of extremely large updates set to release later this year and well into 2015, some of which will reportedly bring monumental changes to the game, hopefully making it worth the wait. There's no indication on what the updates will feature or how they will change the game more than this balance patch has, but it should be interesting to find out. A while back, we reported on how our friends over at SteamDB had unearthed work-in-progress code related to a new blue-themed Steam store with numerous new filtering features. Well, as you've probably noticed if you've loaded up Steam at all in the past 7 days, the new storefront was finally released last week alongside the Steam Discovery update. The update introduced a new largely blue layout which is focused on providing better customization and search filtering, making it easier for gamers to find games and software which may interest them, rather than bombarding everyone with the same generic lists of new releases or product updates. The new Explorer queue, which functions like Steam Greenlight's queues, uses recent games and playtime to provide a list of games and software you may enjoy. while the Steam Curator section allows individuals, groups, and organizations to more easily share their Steam reviews with the rest of the world by allowing fans to follow a page and its posts much in the same way a Facebook page operates. New detailed customization options also allow users to toggle which kind of titles they would like to see appear in each section of the store, including early access games, software, popular games, items already owned by the account currently in use, and much more. The press release email also revealed Steam has recently surpassed 100 million active users, a significant and impressive boost on the 75 million active user milestone passed 9 months prior in January 2014. Many areas of the Steam store may appear the same as they have for the past few years, but the Steam Discovery update has also introduced many minor changes which should helpfully prove impactful for players going forward. Like so many other media outlets, we also have our own Steam Curators page available should you want to follow it and keep up to date with all of our reviews. We've had a lot of great support on the page so far, so be sure to head on over and follow us using the link provided in the video description. The Steam Store wasn't the only section of the platform to receive interesting new features this past week. To celebrate the official launch of Steam Music and the end of its beta period, Valve announced they are releasing the official soundtracks for Half-Life, Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Portal, Portal 2, and free-to-play documentary onto Steam as free downloadable content for owners of each game. This is the first time Valve have ever offered the official soundtracks for most of these products in a properly formatted album structure away from traditional CDs, barring Portal 2 of course. Users can download the new soundtracks by visiting the game's associated store page and selecting the soundtrack option under the downloadable content tab. If the game is installed, it will then update to download the full version of the soundtrack, which can then be accessed from the Music Library tab. You can play the music within Steam Music itself or use the Show in System option to locate the full album on your hard drive. As with any other music, you can then copy and paste the songs to another area of your machine or another device in order to listen to it away from your Steam account. If you previously wanted to listen to most of these soundtracks without owning the original CDs, you would have needed to extract them from the game files, a rather frustrating process followed by having to rename every individual track from their default titles used for scripting purposes within the games. This makes some of Valve's most beloved soundtracks more easily accessible than ever before, and we're curious to see which other titles may receive the same treatment in the future. Given the way Team Fortress 2's soundtrack is already regularly updated and carefully structured, it seems like an extremely easy task to convert it over. As for Steam Music itself, the service can now be used by all Steam users without needing to sign up for the Steam Client Beta program, so simply update your Steam client and check out the Music Library tab to get started. A few weeks ago, Nexon revealed the release date for their latest Counter-Strike spin-off, the suitably named Counter-Strike Nexon: Zombies. The game, which was also revealed to be running on Valve's Gold Source engine, i.e. the same one used for Half-Life 1 and CS 1.6, was set to release on September 23, 2014. Given that we only found out about the release date details well after that week's roundup was being polished, the topic was pushed back to the following week to not bloat the episode too much, and then we forgot about it again. In the time between the announcement and this video, Counter-Strike Nexon: Zombies has been released onto Steam in an open beta period currently set to last until October 7th, 2014, when the game will officially launch for real this time. Since we have yet to play the game ourselves, we're not entirely sure how it runs or plays, but the mostly negative Steam reviews and mentions of poor performance and connectivity problems tells us a lot of what we already need to know about this soft launch. It would appear we were correct the last time we spoke about Counter-Strike Nexon: Zombies. However, as the game appears largely the same as the Zombies mode previously featured in Counter-Strike Online, which also runs on the 15-year-old Gold Source engine. The Steam Store's included screenshots highlight multiple maps of the 50 included maps, including Dust 2 in Italy, a Left 4 Dead styled versus mode, and numerous weapons including conventional and less than standard types, such as the traditional Desert Eagle and M4A4, alongside dual-wield knives, flamethrowers, and an acid-spraying pistol. While Counter-Strike Nexon: Zombies might be struggling in its early days, we're still rather intrigued to check it out, so keep an eye out for the possibility of a full video review coming sometime soon. For now, you can get in on the action yourself by visiting Counter-Strike Nexon: Zombies' Steam store page and downloading it for free. A new update for Counter-Strike Global Offensive on Wednesday of last week introduced even more balance tweaks for the Tech 9 alongside some major updates to the matchmaking system, helping to bring it in line with the quality of the Dota 2 version. New improvements include pop-up notifications highlighting game updates, automatically aborting matches if players abandon prior to the end of the warm-up round, allowing in-progress games to be joinable if game servers or players lose and regain their connection to Steam servers, and much more. Numerous improvements were also made to the steadily growing Linux client, which, like the PC and Mac versions of the game, is now far more stable and also allows players to both connect to community servers and to download custom content from them. Alongside some other more minor changes, the main menu item bar was also improved, introducing support for individual items similar to Dota 2, and new item preview options such as Explore a Case, which lists all of the items available within a selected case. A second update released this past Thursday brought Operation Breakout to a close and introduced numerous other changes. These include even more matchmaking improvements regarding how friends are able to join games, some major gameplay changes regarding how hit tagging is handled and displayed, a major 20% armor penetration buff to all SMGs, and several updates to CSGO's own SDK, including improvements to instancing and the face edit sheet, making it slightly easier to modify textures and details. More details about either of the new CSGO updates can be found over in the official changelogs if you're interested enough to take a look. As we mentioned on the last episode, the 4th annual Saxxy Awards were rapidly approaching their conclusion over the past week and a bit. Throughout the last 2 weeks, the community has been voting on submitted videos between September 24th and 29th. Valve then spent 2 days judging the community-selected nominees before announcing the 5 winning videos on Wednesday, October 1st, 2014. Ultimately, TF2 in 60 Seconds was named as the best short, Rivalry Rush was selected for best action, About a Scout was picked for best comedy, and Defect _ was chosen for best drama. The extremely impressive and entertaining animation versus animator was given the best overall award, and we can definitely see why. While all prizes feature the prestigious Saxxy in-game item for TF2, the best overall prize also features a fully paid trip to Valve sometime in 2015, where anyone associated with the project will be given a guided tour and a chance to meet Valve's own filmmaking team. We highly recommend heading on over to the Saxxy Awards announcement page to check out the winners and nominees for yourself if you haven't already. A pair of updates for Team Fortress 2 over the past 2 weeks once again focused on improving the gameplay balance of Asteroid, as well as introducing or fixing various other features and cosmetic items. While it would seem Cactus Canyon is being left out once again, numerous changes were made to how Asteroid and the larger Robot Destruction game mode handles win conditions and when or how a team can win a round. Once a team reaches the maximum 300 points total, a 45-second overtime period will begin and numerous sound cues will play, making the opposing team more aware they have additional time to break into the base and steal from the reactor core, something not previously possible with the old instant win setup. This new overtime period is also highlighted by a new placeholder pickup ship and robot worker, both of which are used to signify victories near for one team or another. Stolen reactor cores are also far easier to return to base, as picking up the core no longer instantly resets the return timer in a manner akin to capture the flag. Instead, every second the core is held will add an extra second to the return timer, causing it to steadily increase back to its maximum over time. The external appearance of Blue Base was also massively overhauled, as all of the previously included work-in-progress models are now fully textured and, quite honestly, looking great. Elsewhere, an entirely new limited late summer crate key was added to the game, allowing users to finally access the crate of the same name sneakily released a week prior. The crate series contains 9 totally new community-created cosmetic items, including the Pocket Heavy for the medic, Lady Killer for the spy, and the Unshaved Bear for the heavy. The second major update, released earlier this week, also added a new auto-team balance vote, allowing servers, their owners, and their players the ability to choose whether they want the regularly frustrating automatic team balancing functionality to remain active or not. If you're looking for more details about either of the updates released over the past 2 weeks, such as the removal of the floating items bug and a new backpack label, be sure to check out the official changelogs over on the Team Fortress blog or wiki. That wasn't quite it for Team Fortress 2 news over the past 2 weeks, however, as the 4th issue of the ongoing Team Fortress comic series was released this past Thursday after a rather amazing 6-month hiatus. The new issue, named Blood in the Water, jumps around the Team Fortress timeline a little bit, but mostly focuses on Miss Pauling and the Red Team's attempts to find the sniper, engineer, and the rest of Earth's Australium. It's an extremely long issue with a load of interesting plot twists, and definitely foreshadows a lot of things which we feel are going to come to a head in issue 5 and 6, which we expect to be released in 2016 and 2099 respectively. Jokes aside, it's a great issue and it's definitely worth taking a look at if you want to keep up with the ongoing story of Team Fortress 2. On September 25th, several new teaser trailers for the Half-Life: The Downfall of Evolution fan film were released onto YouTube. The trailers, which use a lot of the same footage, provide a closer look at how Half-Life's infamous 7-hour war will be depicted within the finished film, showing iconic landmarks such as London's St. Paul's Cathedral and Los Angeles' Hollywood sign and the Walt Disney Concert Hall being attacked by combined gunships, dropships, and striders. Aside from the previously mentioned time period, we still know very little about the actual plot of the film, but we're interested enough to want to find out more. The team has recently opened up an IndieGoGo crowdfunding page for those looking to help out the production. The campaign, which opened on September 25th, is looking to raise $20 grand by October 30th, 2014. It's a steep goal, so head on over if you want to take part, just be cautious of unfortunately misspelled perk goals. After an unplanned but sizable break after episode 10 of ValveTime Top 5, we were finally ready to return with episode 11 this past week. In this new episode, we return to the subject of Team Fortress 2 maps by talking about our top community-made maps, meaning custom maps made official by Valve at some point over the past 7 years. As a direct follow-up to episode 10, which discussed official Valve-made maps, we once again teamed up with Frozen of TF2Maps.net to work out which of the officialized community-made maps were fun, interesting, or impactful enough to make it into our prestigious list, as best in their field. If you previously enjoyed episode 10, you'll probably like this one for all the same reasons. And that wraps up another 2 weeks of Valve news. Hopefully you've enjoyed our longest episode to date. If you have, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and to get involved in the conversation over on the ValveTime.net community forums. If you enjoy our content, be sure to share our videos with your friends and to rate our Dota 2 announcer pack positively over on the Steam Workshop. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.